Greetings and good day, everyone. Welcome to Nourish Your Soul TV, where collective consciousness meets to transform reality. Expect a miracle. It's really that simple, to simply allowing it, breathing into it, and knowing that it's possible. Today, I'm really excited to bring Tyler Ellison, channel for Riok, on the show, as well as special guest and team member John and his beloved Kayla. Say hello, everyone.
Hello, guys. Thank you for being here with us. John and Kayla are so talented. They have been co-creating with us. John's been doing amazing video editing, and John and Kayla are both amazing musicians. So we are exploring musical collaborations, and both of you, I'm so honored to have you part of this team, part of this dream team bubble of co-creative reality. It's so delicious, so exciting. And as I've been saying to a lot of people, it's like water in the desert. You're like, wow, look at what life hands us when we are just being ourselves fully. So many thanks for both of you for being here.
So yeah, John, I just want to say I'm actually just going to share that what happened, the synchronicity for how I attracted you guys into my bubble was literally, I was like laying in bed and I was thinking, you know, how can I connect more with Daryl, because he was at the Conscious Life Expo and I was really wanting to speak with him. And literally in the bed, I heard Bashar say to me, contact John. He is taking action on his excitement. He's an action taker. And so I literally the next day I was like, okay, I'm reaching out to John because they might be going to the Conscious Life Expo. So I did. I didn't know that they lived in California either. I was really just following what I was getting intuitively and acting on it. So that was just a miraculous thing. So yeah.
That's so awesome, Michelle.
Beautiful.
Thank you so much. We're super excited to be a part of the team and be here. It's truly a miracle and how everything comes together, but we're definitely meant to be here, and we're going to change the world, and I can feel it in my heart and in my soul and my bones, and it feels really, really great.
Yeah, absolutely. I just want to say to everybody that I don't know your current situation, what you're going through, but it does feel like the universe is giving all of us a timeout. And in this timeout, we all have an opportunity to basically just go within and to self-reflect. It's an opportunity for us to upgrade our whole operating system. It's an opportunity for us to look at our fearful thoughts, right? Look at our beliefs, you know, where are we buying into negative limiting beliefs? And where are we giving power to things outside of ourselves rather than, you know, questioning what's possible? When we open up to all possibility, knowing that we are love, we are extensions of love, then we can literally just use our currency, our life stream, energy stream for what it's intended, which is to extend the good, the holy, and the beautiful, to be a clear conduit, to surrender, to allow, you know, the Holy Spirit, the divine, to speak through us. And I feel like the whole world is going through what I call the eye of the needle, which is the single eye focus, where you're seeing the world from a place of perfect wholeness, perfect holiness, knowing that you're not separate from it and it is not separate from you. Everything is contained because you're the one seeing it. You are the one looking. And each person we look upon, we can choose to see the divine in them and see that interconnection. Because when we see that divine interconnection, we recognize the Christ in another, then I have that experience of feeling the divine holy presence speaking and engaging and playing with me. And we are here to bring heaven to earth. And how do we do that? We clear our seeing. Our seeing has to be crystal clear in that we are no longer seeing from a place of brokenness. We're no longer seeing from a place of things being wrong or labeling things as being right and wrong, but rather we can stay within the center in the neutral place. And that is what's going through the eye of the needle, being the center of the storm. Tyler, would you like to add some more to this, what I'm saying?
Absolutely. I'm really deeply touched by everything you've said so far, Michelle. I know for a lot of folks, what you said is like, essentially it's like, it's healing, you know, it's essentially medicinal words. You know, I think you're speaking very powerful wisdom about this topic. And from my understanding, I mean, I have swallowed the Essassani perspective pill, hook, line, and sinker. So I look at it as right now, we're literally on infinite different earths, each person on their own different version of earth. We're all literally when we're in the same space, we're all like in a shared dreaming bubble of reality. And we have the illusion of being in the same environment. But in reality, when you're at the mall or like when you're at the grocery store or the pharmacy, it's probably more likely for a lot of folks out there, the grocery store or pharmacy, then it looks like you're on one location, but each person's on their different earth. And you're all just dreaming that you're in the same store. And one of the things that's really important right now is to be, not be on, not be in, be the earth of your preference. Be the earth of your preference. I am the earth. I am my preferred version of earth, literally, physically, through synchronicity. Be that and live that, and you will see that. That is real. I don't say this to brag, and I'm not saying this to be unempathic towards those who are going through a great challenge. My reality has never been better. I have never been this joyful, this happy, this myself in all my 27 years. And this, I think, Michelle, ties into a lot of like what we're talking about, that right now, right? Love is so abundant, and it's the obvious counterbalance to the idea of those less preferred earths, because those less preferred earths where all of us are like, ooh, I kind of know what that looks like, but I definitely don't really want to go there. We know that fear is the common unifying factor between all of those unpreferred earths. So really, it's the love pill, my friends. And the love pill is within you. It's your heart. Therefore, because we all got a heart, we're all made of love, as you eloquently phrased, Michelle. We can all drink our own medicine, so to say, and shift to more high-frequency versions of reality. There are many projects, Michelle, myself, Nourish Your Soul TV are going to be launching to really just be of service, be of assistance to really, for people that are like, hey, I want to take a jump, or I want to have more fun, maybe I want to rediscover play. There's many projects me and Michelle and Nourish Your Soul TV have been discussing launching, just to be of extra assistance during this time. So you know, we're your friends. We really are. I mean, I might have never met you, physically. Michelle's maybe never met you physically, but like, we're your friends. If I'm able to perceive you in my reality, you are 100% automatically my friend. 100%. You're automatically my family. No questions asked. If you exist and I'm seeing you, you're me, I'm you, and I love you unconditionally. So
yeah, exactly. Well said, Tyler. Thank you so much. Yeah, Nourish Your Soul TV is about literally nourishing your soul. And how do you do that? You be fully yourself. You sing the song that you're here to sing. You no longer let, circumstances or things dictate who you are, how you're showing up in the world. And so, and what's really cool about this time out that we're all getting, and this ability to kind of quarantine ourselves, shut ourselves down, but go into our homes, is that everybody now has no excuse to not basically reevaluate their life and where they're putting their priorities, and actually tune in, tap in, turn on to what is that which excites you, what lights you up, what puts you on fire. There's no more excuses now. And so with that being said, I'm going to actually bring us all together. I invite you to join me. We're going to do some affirmations, and Kayla is going to actually sing them with us. I would like for you to participate and join in the fun with us on this. And then we're going to turn it over to Riok, and he's going to bring us some wonderful information upline 300 years into the future. So I'd like for everybody to take a deep breath in through your nose. And exhale. Just place your hand on your heart. Feel your heartbeat. Take another deep breath. And exhale. And if you feel guided, you can repeat these words. I am love.
I am love.
I am love.
Love is who I am.
Love is who I am.
Love is who I am.
I am my ascended master self here and now.
I am my ascended master self here and now.
I am my ascended master self here and now.
Life supports me because I support me.
Life supports me because I support me.
Life supports me because I support me.
Love is all I see.
Love is
All I see.
Love is all I see.
Love is the light in me.
Love is the light in me.
Love is the light in me.
I stand on sacred holy ground.
I stand on sacred holy ground.
I stand on sacred holy ground.
Seeing the divine in all that I see.
Seeing the divine in all that I see.
Seeing the divine in all that I see.
Love is here. I am free.
Love is here and I am free.
Love is here and I am free.
When you're ready, open your eyes. I am so ready for Riok.
Yeah, you guys are amazing. Thank you so much. That was very, very potent. That was an amazing gift. Thank you. Thank you both. Amazing.
Thank you.
It's my honor.
I'm gonna scoop my chair. I'm just gonna.
Thank you, Kayla.
Thank you. Happy to do so.
Yeah. Sean, do you mind if I turn the singing bowl down? Or would you rather? Thank you. One moment, guys. Oh, if only I could find the video. There's so many. We just have a little singing bowl track playing in the background, and I just want to see if I can neutralize that before we.
It's on the face. Oh, wait.
Which one? One moment, everyone. And I just want to see if I can. There we go. Thank you, Sean. Awesome. All right. So, without further ado, I give my best friend Riok to all of you. Okay, everybody, enjoy. Let's see. So it's about 6:37. We can do the transmission. We do like 7 o'clock. 7
Sounds
o'clock.
good.
If
Sounds
he's,
good.
like, going for it, we can push it to 7:10. But 7 o'clock would be a nice landing zone. Okay.
All right, let me set my timer here. 20 minutes.
All right. So I will go in. So Riok may come. All right, and we thank each and every single one of you for the co-creation of this interaction. On behalf of all of our civilization, it is always our highest joy, highest passion, highest excitement to be able to have these co-creative transmissions with each and every single one of you, individually and collectively. Now, we are going to discuss the state of your time, the following idea. Your world and your worlds, as we should say, are rapidly accelerating in the idea of their timeline progression trajectory. What we mean by this is the following. Whatever your signature frequency is as yourself on Earth during this here and now, during this perspective, in the experience of moving through linear time, is rapidly accelerating. Rapidly accelerating. Understand, this is, in many ways, neutral. It is completely, totally, utterly neutral. Now, we know that for many of you, when you turn on your TVs, when you listen to your radios, it seems as if for many of you in the certain realities that you're in, that there may be, in that sense, great negativity, great fear. Understand that whenever you experience great negativity, great fear, its opposite is there. For in that sense, you cannot have darkness without light. So when you experience the idea of your externalized reality, reflecting back to you things maybe you don't prefer, understand 100% that is indicative of the positive reflection of creation beaming back at you. The idea is shift your point of view so you can experience more of you looking at you. Because we remind you, you are your reality. The only reason it seems attractive for some of you to go into fear is because of the following idea. Viewing yourself as separate from the reality around you. Believing in that sense there are actually other beings that actually have the ability to control or influence your reality in some way. We remind you that is a real experience if you choose to empower that with your belief system. Understand that is just as valid as being able to look at all things as you. Understand that when you see the reality as yourself, when you see all beings as you, all things as you, all synchronicities, all experiences, all dreams, all thoughts, all words, all deeds as you, you begin to fall in love with yourself. When you are in total unconditional love with who you actually are, the idea is not that fear goes away. The idea is the fear is no longer attractive. It's no longer the option you feel compelled to select as your vibrational frequency. You're able in that sense to look at the fear and say, oh, look, this fear is reflecting back to me the idea of my own belief systems. The fear is actually me. It's simply my divine, unconditionally loving energy filtered through a negative story, filtered through a negative belief. Oh, well, thank you, fear, for reminding me that I use beliefs to create reality. I will now inquire about this fear to understand what the belief system is. And each and every single one of you can very easily, very simply begin this process by saying, all right, I am feeling fear right now, and I know I am co-creating such a phenomenon. The only reason I would choose such a phenomenon is because I believe that, and allow for yourself to deliver from within the story. You'll find you can continuously receive details of belief systems, and with each detail you receive, we'll ask yourself then, what must I believe to be true for that detail to be my experience? And begin to tunnel through the negative beliefs until you're at the core. Once you're at the core of the negative beliefs, you've literally stepped outside of it. It is no longer how you're creating the reality experience at that point. Now understand, when you view fear neutrally and when you view fear positively, even if you're experiencing fear, it is literally, physically impossible for you to experience a negative phenomenon based on that fear. If you look at fear neutrally, if you look at fear with love, it is literally impossible to have the idea of a negative manifestation. And we are giving this to you at this time so you can begin to understand how to use your state of being, how to use your narrative to rewrite the script of your life. We remind all of you, you are actors, actresses, stars. Quite literally, you're all so beautiful. You're stars twinkling in the sky in the movie of creation. To be in your dream movie, you must be that character. You must act out who you are. Act out your passion. Act out your joy. Tell yourself the story about your reality that represents your highest preference. Even if reality does not seem to be reflecting back to you your highest preference, that's not the point. The idea is create the story of your highest preference about any subject and choose to empower it with positive energy, love, joy, passion, ecstasy, excitement. And once you have, in that sense, empowered that new story with the positive energy, ask yourself from within, what is an action step I can take? It doesn't have to be big. It can be very small. It doesn't even have to have anything seemingly to do with the story. It could even, in that sense, be a dance move. It could be singing. It could be calling your friend. It could be anything your higher self delivers to you when you ask that question, what is a symbolic action that I can take representative of this new belief structure I have built for myself out of unconditional love for who I am, and I remind myself I am everything all the time at once. And as you take that action with no expectation on what it must bring, you literally, physically, through synchronicity, jump to the idea of a different timeline. You jump to the idea of a different parallel reality, a literal, physical different Earth. You are all on different planets. Even if you experience yourself as being in the same room, even if you experience yourself hugging another person, you are all literally, physically in your own realities, but you are similar enough in vibration where you can create the co-creative dream together, where it appears as if you're on one earth, one reality. And this is part of the idea of the holographic nature of the physical reality experience, the idea of the quantum mechanical dynamics behind the physical reality experience being, you could say, camouflaged by your physical senses so you can make more sense of your experience. It is done in that sense out of service. Ancient humans from your earth were well aware of this. They absolutely knew it and they lived it. The idea is at a certain point in time, your species chose that it would be of highest service, highest benefit to all that is, to yourselves as souls, to collectively go through a forgetting that would last eons, thousands upon thousands of years. You are all officially at a level of frequency, level of resonance in your journey that is similar enough to your true nature, similar enough to that which you actually are, where that knowledge of you unconditionally creating your reality is being remembered. It is being experienced. It is being downloaded into the idea of your collective from spirit, from your higher selves, from your guides, from your souls, from your oversouls, from source, from the angelic realms, as well as from any of our civilizations. We encourage you at this time, even if you are in a situation where you may be required to stay at home, let this be like when you were a child, when maybe you weren't permitted to go outdoors without parental supervision. And you had to use your imagination. You had to learn how to play. You had to learn how to fantasize. You had to learn how to act out your dreams. You had to learn how to play a game of make-believe. We invite you all, especially for those in the parallel reality versions of Earth, where there are, in that sense, the idea of restrictions on being able to exit one's building for reasons other than food or medicines, etc. We encourage you, play with your imagination. Allow for yourself to embody any passion, any joy that reflects something you know in your heart of hearts you've always wanted to experience. Now, as the Bashar has said, the idea is act on your passion to the best of your ability. Maybe one of your passions is, in that sense, to travel to Peru, the region of your earth you call Peru. But you may be, in that sense, required temporarily to stay within your home. And you say, I can't possibly go to Peru right now. How can you use your imagination to replicate that frequency within your own home? This is one example of how this can be done. There is no actual point, in that sense, to any of this. Any of the exercises we provide, except the point, the meaning you put into it. We are giving this to you as a neutral tool, a neutral example. Allow for yourself to experiment, and know that should you experiment and play in a way that is based in love, based in your joy, based in your preference, and you fully act it out in whatever way that may be, big or small, you're literally jumping timelines. You're literally changing the version of Earth that you are on. You may be surprised what you see when you finally open your door. Think of it like this. You are cocooning yourselves, or you could say you are like a bear going underground to dream a bigger dream so you can begin to see more of what was previously unseen but known and felt and dreamt of. So we encourage each and every single one of you, even if you are not, in that sense, restricted to your homes at this time, continue to act on your passion. Dream your highest dream of your highest preference. Act it out with no expectation on what it must do. And you will be of unconditional service to you. Understand, this animal in that sense is a living synchronicity representing the idea of coming together. Your animal beings, your animal friends, companions are well aware of what is taking place. They are actively guiding each and every single one of you through the dynamics through these times. For those of you who have, in your heart of hearts, said, I wish I could learn to communicate with animals. Understand, you actually did when you were a kid. Allow for yourself to bring forth that inner child through the guidance of the higher self, which again is simply the vibration of unconditional love, your secret, your frequency. And allow then for yourself to experiment with such phenomenon. Understand, beneath this collective energy, the whirlwind, the storm that our civilization has talked about, there is the idea of unlimited freedom available to you as a frequency, as a timeline. It may be, for some of you, a little challenging to see this, and we understand why that may be. But if you have the eyes to see the freedom behind the situation, the power of paradox, if you have the ability to see the freedom behind what may feel like limitation, what might feel like a box that you're in, it will allow for you to jump to a version of Earth where freedom has always been a foundational aspect of how everything is experienced on that version of Earth. There is a lot of talk about the idea of viruses, about the idea of the immune system, about the idea of this, about the idea of that in relationship to something being good for my body or bad for my body, positive for me or negative for me. Understand, we remind you, investigate your belief systems. Because if you are not defining your Earth as naturally symbiotic, then there's a high probability you're creating a version of Earth where the idea of pathogen is present. Understand, not all versions of Earth contain pathogenic dynamics. You can, in that sense, shift to a version of Earth of symbiosis through being symbiotic with yourself and all that you experience in your reality by treating all things within your reality as such. And these are a few tips, a few tools that you can all use to begin to dream a bigger dream that is based in the idea of unconditional love and your infinite expansive nature. Because as we have said, your energies are rapidly accelerating. Each and every single one of you. You are going in that sense to see much more of whatever the frequency is you are vibrating at. And we remind you, you are unlimited power. You are unconditional love. If you say, oh, wow, I appear to be vibrating the frequency of fear, then simply say to yourself, wow, I have unlimited power. I am God creating everything. All right, well, maybe I could tell myself another story about the idea of what I prefer. Being here, being now. For those of you who do not understand what your highest preference is, imagine it, dream it. If you had to imagine the utopian Earth, the utopian reality, the utopian life, the utopian experience of your dreams, what would that look like? Paint it, draw it, write it, dream it, scream it. Let yourself get crystal clear about what your preference is, what your passion is, so you understand what it is you're actually being guided to act upon. Because if you do not know what you prefer, because you haven't really sat down to understand who you are, then we encourage you to do so. We remind you, that is one of the reasons such a phenomenon is occurring in the parallel reality experiences that it is. So you can actually sit down and get to know yourself. Now, we are going in that sense to discuss the idea of a virus and the idea of a virus spreading. Now, many of you would say, oh, what a negative thing. However, in your colloquial tongue, you refer to very good things as something that goes viral. It went viral. It's all over the web. Everyone's seen it. Everyone's known about it. The reason we are mentioning this is you already have positive definitions for a virus-related phenomenon in your collective understanding. Simply expand it. Redefine what a virus is so you can experience such an organism, such a phenomenon, such an energy in a positive way. Because we remind you, viruses can be experienced in a way that is symbiotic because you already have viral organisms that interact with your body in the same way you have bacteria that interact with your body in ways that are not pathological. Many of your health scientists, many of your researchers are already well aware of these types of organisms playing a role in your body. This is a gift from the idea of what you call the virus consciousness, to show you that positive versions of it are available to you by sending you, showing you a positive reflection, a positive example. So redefine what a virus is for you in a way that is positive. If you could have any fantasy at your fingertips, which again is your birthright, you are in that sense able to create whatever you choose. Imagine what that looks like, what that is. Tell yourself a story about it. Once you've gotten the visual, once you have played the scenario out, write it down as eloquently, freely as possible. It does not need to be perfect because it's already perfect. Whatever you write down is already perfect because all of creation is already perfect, so it never needs to be perfect. Simply write down some kind of story based on your joy. Choose to then infuse that story with love, joy, passion, excitement to the best of your ability, even if it feels like it's small. If it's a step up from the idea of fear, then understand that it is higher in frequency. And again, between these two earths, versions of earths, in a sense, we know that are infinite, but in terms of the two major common denominators between the infinite versions of earth, you have the idea of fear and the idea of unconditional love. So even if you have raised your emotional state, your frequency state, just slightly past the idea of fear, it means you've oriented yourselves to the versions of earth where unconditional love is the unifying principle. Allow then for yourself, in that high frequency state, however it is, to then ask your higher mind, ask your heart for a symbolic action you can take right here, right now. Allow for yourself to take the action with no expectation. Simply take the action and allow it to be. It can be something very small, such as snapping one's fingers, clapping one's hands, doing 10 push-ups, doing a jumping jack, dancing. As we have said, it's up to you. Allow for your higher self to deliver it. You will find what is delivered by your higher self when you're in that love and joy state will be something that is likely very easy, very free, very available, because we remind you it emerges through synchronicity, which always follows the path of least resistance. So tell yourselves the new stories, young storytellers, masters of co-creation, masters of limitation. We wish for you to know your collective lessons or education related to limitation is nearing completion. And we will leave that right there for you to play with. Our unconditional love to each and every single one of you this day of your time. It is a very exciting time on earth. And we are here by your sides as your family, as your friends, as your allies. Call upon us. We are literally here. We have never been more available to you in terms of the allowance your civilization is providing to our collectives that you call extraterrestrial family. We now will open up the conversation to those whom have questions for us, and we thank you for your attention in this transmission.
Thank you, Riok. I want to just ask if you could elaborate. I feel intuitively like this day is significant because it's like 3/20, it's like 20/20/20. It's almost like the collective unconsciously, co-created this event happening to send a shockwave through the system itself to basically wake up from the amnesia and to clear our seeing and to no longer, let's say, be more diligent in our thinking and our thoughts and, clean up our vibration, no longer having sloppy thinking. Can you comment on that?
With the idea of the sixth sense? Yes?
Yes.
Sense?
Yes.
Yes. 20, 20, 20. 2 plus 2 is 4, plus 2 is 6. You are in that way increasing the capacity of what you call the third eye, your ability to project the hologram of reality in front of you. You are all, at this time, learning how to consciously do that. The lesson is available for you. And that is, in many ways, just some of the symbolic significance behind this date. The 3, in that sense, also in that way, represents the idea of balance, the idea of unity. Physical mind, physical brain, higher mind, forming a triangle of balance in equilateral nature. When you also, in that sense, add it all up, 2 plus 2 plus 2 is 6, plus 3 is 9. You are, in that sense, at a point of completion in a certain, you could say, phase within your collective physical reality dream. And it is because of this level of completion that we have described you are all now in a process of rapid acceleration. Now, when we say rapid acceleration, understand that can be experienced in any way. Define, in that sense, rapid acceleration in a way that's of service to you, in a way that's positive for you, so you can experience your acceleration in the most joyful way possible. No expectation of what it must look like, simply defining it and symbolically acting it out because it's inspiring to you. If it in fact is inspiring to you, we will always encourage you to follow that North Star. We thank you for your question, dear one.
Absolutely. So I know that Bashar has mentioned this. I want to know what you have to say on it. We are DNA itself. Can you comment on that?
Yes, understand. DNA in that sense literally physically teleports in light, and it uses light in that sense as a bit of an instruction manual code for the idea of physiological and spiritual organization and activation and regulation. Electricity in that sense is just one of the ways your body talks to itself. Light is another. Understand, the idea is that light is in that sense more foundational than even the idea of electricity. As we have said, the DNA is teleporting light. From where is this light coming from that my DNA is teleporting in? It's coming from you. It's coming from your infinite spirit. It is source energy in that sense. So understand, when our civilization says you literally are DNA, we are referring to the idea of a structure that is both physical and spiritual in nature that teleports in your own light. Think about it like this. The genetic material, the genetic code, is in many ways like the anchor of a boat. So those that are on the boat may then dive into the ocean and explore. In that sense, you literally are the idea of your DNA anchoring into the physical reality. The diver in that sense represents the photonic light in that way and the spiritual psychic light from source coming into the ocean of your reality. In this sense, we would describe you in that way as DNA. And even in a more fundamental sense, we would also describe you as light, working hand in hand. Spirit and matter co-fusing so you can have your physical dream. Does that answer your question for you?
Indeed, it does. I just keep getting intuitively, it's coming in strong the past few days that we're really here to just understand the process of creation itself.
Precisely, because you are the process of creation itself. So you're really just getting to know, again, that who you actually are.
Indeed. And so a questioner here says, Eilena, she says, to what is the effect of chanting Om on the body?
It represents the idea of the stimulation of what you call the pineal gland, as well as the idea of the pituitary gland. It's not just limited to here, because whenever you activate the idea of an upper center, an upper energetic center, there is a reflexive effect that simultaneously triggers and awakens the idea of its you could say inverse the idea of a lower center. So as you, in that sense, chant the frequency, the tone of Om, it allows for you to both open up the crown, but also in that sense, ground that crown into the ground. It allows for you in that sense to become, as we have said, like a boat putting down an anchor into the reality. One of the ways you can begin to accelerate the vibration of Om and the phenomenon of such is to allow for yourself to get very silly. This is one way you can do it to quickly enter into a high frequency state. Allow for yourself to have a mirror in front of you. Sitting in a chair, looking at yourself in the mirror, and simply begin to tell yourself, to your reflection, a joke. It can be any joke. We would encourage you to create or discover a joke that is most reflective of your joy, to increase the amplification. As you tell yourself the joke in the mirror, allow for yourself to induce laughter. Even if it feels like you're faking it, begin to laugh at your own joke, begin to laugh at yourself. And go deeper in laughter, go deeper in laughter. And every time it feels like, oh, I should not be laughing right now, if that comes up for you, let that be a permission slip, because you can use anything you wish as a permission slip in any way, shape, or form. Allow for that to be a permission slip to go deeper into laughter. And just go and go and go until it feels like you can't laugh anymore. And once you're at that level where your entire body is vibrating, begin to chant the Om. And it will allow for you to access the idea of the opening of the crown and the grounding into the earth, the grounding in the reality of your preference. It will allow for you to experience that dynamic through the frequency state of that laughter. We remind you, mirrors are literally portals, literally windows into other parallel realities. So when you are laughing at yourself and then go into the chanting, it's as if you are selecting another parallel reality where you've always been laughing at yourself. And when we say yourself, we're not talking just about the you in the body, the character. We're talking about everything, because everything is you. And when you laugh with and at creation, you are laughing with and at yourself. You are joining into what has been called in your culture the cosmic giggle. And the Om, in that sense, will assist you all in activating that, embodying that, crystallizing that. And that's a little something about the Om and a permission slip tool you can use to expand your relationship with what your ancient cultures have given you. And we thank you so much for the question, dear one.
Thank you, Riok. So just giving you a time check, we're at 7:11 right now. Do you care to take any more questions at this time?
9. We thank you for the synchronicity reflection, darling.
Absolutely. It sounds like the feline race. The kitty cats are shouting in there too.
One moment. Don't you have a song in your culture that describes 7-Eleven and heaven?
Yes.
How synchronous! Thank you, dear one, for being a reflection of synchronicity for us. We can go a little bit longer. We understand there is an individual whom has been excited about conversing with us, and that individual wishes in that way to ask us a question, to speak with us. We think you know who we're talking about. We'll allow for that for a brief period to allow for the idea of a very heartfelt desire to be experienced here and now, to again act as a reinforcement of the idea of your desires are worthy for experience. Your desires are available to you. It's simply a matter of shifting your frequency, shifting your story, and taking action on it.
Thank you, Riok, and thank you for interacting with me today. I'm very excited to be here.
It is our highest joy to be able to have the co-creative interaction with you as well. We thank you for your dream world. It is so beautiful, dear one.
Thank you. Last year in September, I went to a Bashar event, and I had an experience with what I believe was a precursor.
Okay.
And Bashar's talked about precursors, but I haven't heard you touch on the subject. Could you speak about that experience and how to connect more to those experiences?
Understand that during this time, when you went to the idea of the seminar and you listened to the Bashar describe the idea of the concept, let's just say there's a reason that's the one you went to. It may have, and we won't give too much away, a little bit of something to do with you. Those of you in your reality that are acting on your joy, acting on your passion very easily, very freely, we are going to say this generally. Most of you whom are doing this are precursors getting turned on by your own free will choice to fully activate the unlimited frequency potential of your DNA light teleportation system. That's a very lengthy way of saying you're stepping up to the plate and you're allowing for yourself to be who you actually are, so you can act as a living example to all of those whom are on the different earths that can still observe you. This is one of the, you could say, intentions behind the idea of the precursor program. For scenarios like this, but not limited to scenarios like this, because many of you who have found it very natural, very easy, very free to act on your joy, have been reflecting such potentiality to your collectives for some time. Or rather, as how you experience the passing of time in relationship to length. However, you're finding that right now, because of what we have described as the unlimited freedom in the backdrop, many of you are using this time as a permission slip for you to fully allow yourself to be in resonance with who you are. And those of you in your civilization whom are easily, freely, and abundantly acting on your joy out of service to both yourself in the big sense, yourself in the little sense, and those around you are likely precursors. If you found you're fascinated by extraterrestrials and you're very inspired, hint, hint, it's likely there's an extraterrestrial reason behind it. And again, this relates to the idea of one of the initiation steps of the open contact process. It's not the first initiation step, it's a few steps in, but again, it relates to the idea of a progression towards open contact. Understand, when you choose to be yourself and act on your joy, and you do so when you are observed by others, you're essentially showing other individuals what is possible. You in that way are leading by examples, assisting others in being their own leader. But you are also in that way saying to our civilizations, oh look, they're matching our frequency. Look, everyone, look, they're more ready. How exciting, let's celebrate. Every time you act on your passion, all of us literally celebrate specifically for you and your collective. Now, we are always celebrating for you and your collective, for we are always celebrating the experience of light. However, we also beam that specifically towards your reality, or rather, we would describe it like this. You are shifting your frequency to allow for more of our energies that we are constantly beaming at you into the idea of your perception. Does that make sense for you, dear one?
Absolutely. Thank you very much. Another question popped into my head as you were talking. I was reminded of a dream that I once had where a green energetic ship came down and placed a green bracelet on my left wrist. Could you comment on that at all?
It relates to the idea of what is known as an astral or dream power object. Now, even though when you look at your wrists, there may not be anything on them except your hair and skin or maybe some jewelry, it's as if there's an energetic imprint of such technology that is ever present when you are in its frequency resonance. Understand in that way, green relates to quite a few energy dynamics in your reality experience. One of them relates to the idea of expansion, of movement, of motivation, but it also relates to the idea of love, appreciation, compassion. In your dream, was it your dominant, so to say, hand that it was placed upon?
No, it was not.
All right. This relates largely to the idea of being able to use any reflection that you are given in a way that relates to the energetic concepts we have described, such as motivation, empowerment, love, kindness, generosity. It's as if you are looking at the mirror of creation, and no matter what it is showing you, you are receiving its reflection in a positive way, so you can then internalize it in a positive way and create from it in a positive way. Now, we have a little gift for you. Are you ready?
Yes.
if you so choose, you can begin to imagine in meditation, in visualization, the green bracelet on your non-dominant hand. You can begin to imagine those same beings return and place another one on your right hand. Are you with us so far?
Yes.
As they place it on the right hand, begin to go into deep gratitude as if you have physically, literally received a gift. Thank you so much for this gift. Thank you for this present. Thank you so much for adorning my body in empowered jewelry that reflects back to me my own co-creative freedom and unlimited potential. And it will allow for you to not only receive and use the reflections of reality in the ways we have described through the idea of the permission slip effect you're empowering that crystal bracelet with, but it will also in that way allow for you to more effectively, more lucidly create your reality through a similar vibration. We remind you you're already doing it in that sense, creating reality through your passion and joy. It will in that way simply be like a opening of a door for even more of what you adore.
Perfect. Thank you, Riok. I really appreciate it.
As are you. And we infinitely appreciate you and your gift. And we thank you for the co-creation of this interaction together, this day of your time. At this moment, we will allow for the channel to return to his point of view in the here and now in a more physicalized, direct way. On behalf of all Essassani, the Yael, the beings of Sirius, their Arcturian and Pleiadian familiar counterparts, the mantids, your earth nature spirits, your insect plant kingdoms, your fungi kingdoms, your oceanic creatures and dolphins, on behalf of literally all of creation, our unconditional love to you always, dear ones. And remember, we are always by your side because we are within you, because this whole experience is always within you. Good day.
Good day.
And sweet dreams.
Good day, Riok.
Wow, everybody. I'm so happy we did this. I'm so happy we made it lengthy. This was very good. Thank you, everyone.
It was very good. It was lovely to see the kitty cat kept wanting to play with you, and the feline energy was just like reinforcing everything that Riok was saying.
That was so cute.
Before we even did it, so in front of me, I'm clearly not in my usual channeling spot. I'm at a great friend house. Actually, Sean, you want to say hi? This is my good friend, Sean Bond.
How's it going?
Me and Sean, oh, sorry, please speak, sir.
Good to meet you. Like, we're good friends and go high into multidimensionality and science, and this is fun.
Yeah.
Thank you, Sean, for playing like this with us. This is awesome. Giving Tyler Riok a different background on a green screen. Love it.
It's been fun.
Do you mind if I share some of the synchronicities about us in terms of where we're both from? So I moved to Connecticut in like 2014. And Sean also moved to Connecticut, not in 2014, but maybe 2 years ago, about 2 years.
About it.
And I get here and I meet Sean. I'm like, Sean, you're so cool. Where are you from? He's like, oh, I'm from Delaware. And I'm like, oh, I'm from Delaware. And now we're both here in Connecticut. And like,
Same age, too.
same age. Many amazing parallels to this person. And I'm so honored to be in his space. I mean, his room actually, where he's so cool. He's got this green screen. He's got amazing tech, and he's got an amazing being. He's fantastic. One of my best friends. And man, there's just so much. I'm just so excited, so grateful. And everyone who watches this, reach out. You're not alone. You're not alone. We love you so much. Your whole family's here. Your whole family's here, and we've never been closer than we are right now. We are here with you in this. Even if we're in different realities, even if we're in different Earths, we are so powerful we can communicate across Earths, across timelines. We got your back. We will support you. We'll help you in shifting. We love you unconditionally, family.
Absolutely. You're welcome to the Rainbow Tribe, where love is who we are, and we are choosing to see and recognize the divine infinite Christ conscious presence within each and every being, because we are loving ourselves. We're seeing through the illusion. We're using the power of the illusion to see where we need to clear and cleanse our own sight and ability, so that we can be that much clearer and that much purer in our ability to just allow to just empty our mind and sink the mind into the heart. The mind is here to be the servant of the heart. And as we surrender to the heart, we can really impact our experience of reality, because we're allowing love. Love is the infinite power. Love is the creative life stream that's in us. We are made of love. Love is who you are. You are loved. You are loving. And it is a time upon our beloved planet in which love can go viral, just by you choosing to be fully who you are and shine and sing and speak the truth that is within all hearts, because we all resonate with that which is the truth. And we're not telling you anything you don't already know. We're just reinforcing as we all awaken and we all remember to the true essence of who we are. We're all children of God. This is what we came here for. So I'm just so happy and honored and blessed to co-create and play with Riok and the Essassani and Tyler and John and everybody like this. If this video has impacted you in any way or inspired you, I encourage you to share it, as it gives a new perspective that we can all take on as we co-create and transform our planet together. Because remember, it's like Bashar has said, that nothing outside of ourselves, and also Riok has said the same, nothing outside of ourselves has power over us without our agreement. So as we choose to become more conscious of what we're giving our focus to, what we're agreeing to, so that we can then be in alignment with the truth, which has always been true, which is love is who you are, and to be an extension of that. And so in this closing, I just want to remind everybody, if channeling is something that you're inspired, you want to learn more, I encourage you to reach out. You can check out the First Contactee Training, Part 1, Part 2. It's a course that Riok teaches us, along with including Alan Steinfeld in the Part 2, teaching us remote viewing, helps us really tap into our channeling abilities. And we're all channeling every time we're in the zone, every time we're in the flow, and we're just allowing that divine energy to flow through us. That is channeling. So, and then also Tyler Riok is available to do private one-on-one sessions. You can also go to the nourishyoursoul.tv page and click on book a Riok session. You can scroll down and see where he's doing group work, and also multiple sessions. And before we close, I just want to say this is an opportunity, since one of our questioners had asked about the power of Om on the body. I think it would be really nice to close with an Om. So I would love it if, Kayla, if you would bring us into an Om all together. Let's just do like 3 Oms together.
Okay. Om. Om.
Om.
Om.
That was beautiful.
Oh, really good. We got like hot.
No, it's hot. We're on fire, baby. We're on fire of love.
I love it.
Also, too, I want to make just an announcement for myself, too. If you are watching this and you want to learn how to channel, feel free to reach out to me. I teach people how to do this. I love teaching this. It's really fun. And some of the people who train with me, I'm not trying to toot my own horn. I'm just embracing what is literally physically here through synchronicity, my reality. People that train with me tend to end up channeling. It has been my experience time and time again. If you work with me, a high probability you'll learn how to channel. Of course, I can't do it for you, but I will give you all the tools. I'm going to guide you through it. We're going to practice, and it's so fun. I love watching people do it. And just saying, there's a whole mythos, a whole culture, a whole ancestry of our ET families. A lot of it hasn't been spoken. And right now, I think star seeds, right, precursors, people that are waking up to who they are in that sense, I think a lot of it is to bring this through. Bashara said part of the idea of open contact is us remembering our true history. I have a hunch that the more people we have actively channeling through love, through joy, the more of our true history is going to just slip out from the subconscious or just be given through that telepathic link from your guide, your future self, your parallel incarnation. So if you want to work with me, if you like what you see here, if this is your language, if we're speaking the language of love together and you hear the words we are all saying together as a beautiful symphony of synchronicity, then reach out to us, friends. Mwah! You're all beautiful. Oh, you're all my family. And you're all darlings. I never started saying darlings until Riok started doing it. And I was like, more to be followed on that. There's a lot behind the scenes, as you can probably tell when he's channeling. But
I love it. Thank you so much, Tyler. Reach out to nourishyoursoul.tv. We'll put it also in the comments. You can see the link. Check out our upcoming event in April the 24th, creating the hybrid reality. That's going to be really nice. Riok's going to be touching in and tapping into the hybrid children. And then also the part 3 live is going to be beginning in May. So you want to get on the train for the First Contactee Training 1 and 2 so you can prepare yourself so you can go live with us and enjoy getting your questions answered and connecting with the hybrid children as we take a deep dive into channeled material with that. Is there anything you would like to say, Tyler, about the hybrid reality that is anything? Because I know you've been doing a lot of connecting with nature now, and so I feel like you're getting downloads.
There's a lot of stuff that's going to be in there. I know some people aren't able to physically leave their homes. A lot of what's given in this stuff can be done meditatively through inner vision quests of going into nature. So if you feel like I mean, a lot of it's going to be very nature based. If you feel like you're really stuck in your house and it's, you can only go out for certain reasons, right, for food or medicines, you can still participate in this. It will still be very impactful, and it'll actually be very transformative, because in order for the hybrid children to physically be here on Earth with us, we have to be a match for that version of Earth, and that's going to be strictly, and I don't want to say strictly, but a big part of it will be based in how do we shapeshift the narrative about government, about religion, about politics, about community, about money, right? All of these things, right, is already, as many of you can tell through social media, getting rearranged. And this transmission is going to help us consciously tune into that rearrangement. So you're like just grabbing like an arrow out of the air. It's like, oh, there's my preference. Got it. And you can catch it because it's already in you. So we're going to be getting into how to get the set and setting appropriate for the hybrid children, for the open ET contact. So that will be April 24th.
Yes.
Yeah. April 24th. We're all very excited for it. I'm pumped. Part of me is like, man, I wish that thing was tomorrow. I just want to sink my teeth in to that version of the now. But I'll just keep playing around, having fun till then.
Yeah, tickets are on sale right now for $37 until April 1st. After April 1st, they go up to $47. Yeah. So don't delay if you're choosing to save money, and this is something that excites you. And we love you, and we're so happy you're here, and just keep following your highest excitement. That's what we're doing over here on the Love Train. So lots of love.
Family forever.
That's right. Ohm your way there, people. Oh, yeah. I believe in you.
One ohm at a time.
Bye-bye.
All right. Peace out, everyone. Thank you, John. Thank you, Caleb. Thank you for Michelle.
Thank you so much.
Bye. Bye, everybody.